online business today? I'm going to reveal the answer to you in a second. But as we get started, make sure you grab your show notes. You need your show notes, guys. If you don't have those, shoot me a message or put it in the comments. You also want to do me a favor and go ahead and hit the share button. My name is Kathy McReynolds, and I am excited today to talk to you guys about the best chance to make money in your online business today. And the answers that I'm going to be revealing to you tonight might just shock you. But do me a favor while we're all here, if you can grab your phones. I'm going to grab my phone, and let's go ahead and hit that share button. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you're catching this during the live or the replay. And make sure that you drop in the comments what type of business that you have, whether you're watching us on the live or the replay, because you never know who might be watching and you might be able to help them out, guys. So we're going to talk to you about some of the best chances for you to actually make money online and offline as well. I'm going to show you some unique stuff that I promise you most people aren't out there talking about, but we're going to help you create some businesses that will last a lifetime. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. The best chance for you to, don't you want the best chance? You don't want like that last place chance or that maybe chance. You want the absolute best chance for you to be able to make money. So I have gotten everything shared out. Make sure you get your show notes, and we're going to get this party started here. Hopefully you can see that they look like this. You can download those, and when you are a member of Bible Business Academy, what we actually do is send you out a whole month's worth with the audio and the video so that you can listen to it in your car. You can also watch it if you want, stick the thumb drive in so that you are well equipped to win and have success in your business. So don't forget to let me know where you're tuning in from, guys. I'm going to shift over into our presentation and go ahead and get everything started now. So our scripture today comes from the book of Ecclesiastes 1:9. What has been will be again, and what has been done will be done again. There is nothing, absolutely nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. So that means that if there's nothing new under the sun, there's nothing new in business, there's nothing new in success, there's nothing new in relationships. Everything has been here, has been done, has been taught to us. It's just up to us to learn it and go to that next level. So that's why we're going to talk about today. What's your best chance to make money in your online business today? So do me a favor, drop in the comments and let us know what type of business you have. Do you have an online business, offline business? What do you sell? What do you want to sell if you don't have one? Make sure you drop that in there, whether you're catching it during the live or replay, because you never know who might be watching and may need some of your service. And so let's go ahead and reveal those answers. So if this is your first time tuning in, just want to say, before we start, give you a little bit about myself, because you might be thinking, why should I listen to that chick and what she has to say? Well, I am, just as they say, LeBron James, he's from Akron, Ohio. So he always said, just a kid from Akron. I always like to say I grew up shy, sheltered, and in church basically 6 days a week. My mom was a minister. My dad was a football coach. I left at home at 19, lived in the D.C. area, Baltimore, Boston, and Pittsburgh, and went a little wayward, like, preachers' kids do. College dropout turned success student of doer is what I titled it. I'm an introvert, but I absolutely love to win, guys. I am not perfect. I've made tons of mistakes, as you see here, and it will continue to do, but am an action taker. Win or lose, as long as we're in the game and having fun, it's what winning is what counts. But I'm just saying, you got to show up in order to have that chance of winning. I'm the auntie to many, no children, international coach and trainer, also a licensed financial advisor, been a business owner for about the last 25 years. I've made money, lost money, six figures in some business, zero in others. And now I'm an online business strategist. And I decided, a year or two or so ago to turn my life over to God. and like, and this time, never, ever, ever go back. Like, you know how you got to be all in. I got tired of toe dipping. And it was just because of all the challenges, which I'll talk to you a little bit more about that as we go on, that, that I went through. And then you realize, well, wait a minute, what am I doing? And you decide to do it well, which is why we started Bible Business Academy. Because I know if you're an entrepreneur and you're watching this, you will face struggles. If you're in life, you're going to face struggles. That's just what life is all about. And the best place to do that as you're going through that is to get in the Word. Let those biblical principles help create success in your life and help you get you through the hard times that are just part of life. God didn't say it was going to be easy, but he did say it was going to be worth it. So we're going to talk about the power of organized effort. Napoleon Hill, he always talked about, like, you got to have effort, but it has to be organized. It has to be done in a certain way. Like there's scripture that talks about it. There's a certain time for things. There's a time to do this, a time to do that. That's the same thing in business. You have to know what the right timing is and exactly what to do. See, most business efforts are not around a definite plan. They don't have a definite plan. If I go back to Napoleon Hill, he said you must have a CCMP, a clear, concise mental picture of exactly where you need to go. If you got a business plan and it is written and you literally look at it every day, or a daily game plan, drop in the comments and put plan. Let me know that you have one in place, and then I want to congratulate you, because most people don't. Most people have, their marketing is erratic, their business is erratic. They wake up with an idea and they just go implement it. How do I know? Because I've been there. But see, if you want to be a faith-driven entrepreneur, if you want to be a Christian entrepreneur, and those who strive to be like Jesus, you should approach life and business different. And what you want to do is rely on God and his guidance and let him lead you in the way of your business, and also have a pre-developed system or organized effort that stays consistent with biblical principles and mission marketing guiding principles. Jesus tells the story. He talks about a parable of the entrepreneur who wanted to build the tower. And he said, who of you would go build a tower without having a plan in place? And if you go and do it and you start it and you don't count the costs, you don't have that in place, you may not be able to finish. And if not, people are going to laugh at you. So you want to make sure that your effort in business is organized, that you have systems in place. And that's what we're going to talk about, because most people are using tactics in search of a strategy. And we're going to talk to you about how you have to use the strategies and what's the difference. See, as a faith-driven, smart, sophisticated, on the ball entrepreneur, I want you to think like a marketer, not like an entrepreneur. I want you to think like Jesus. Just don't be out there just, haphazardly doing things. That is not how he operated, and how you should not operate as well. See, when you are that faith-driven, smart, and sophisticated entrepreneur that's thinking like a marketer and thinking like Jesus, you have principles. You have principles that you use to drive to strategies. If people like, oh, I got this new principle. No, go back to that scripture. There is nothing new under the sun. All the principles were already laid out for us. All the fundamentals were already there. There is no such thing as a new fundamental. They've already been there. They were written in the Bible years and years and decades and centuries and whatever. I can't even fathom how long ago. To drive your strategies and to drive your tactics. That's what you want to use. Jesus, did you know that Jesus used strategies also? See, there's a way you get from the beginning of that life. Like if you just follow the yellow brick road, in this case, follow the curvy road, you will get to your destination if you just do it right. See, these days it seems like people are looking for that discipleship magic wand, or or they're looking for that business magic wand. Like, God is not a genie where he just like, you're like, hey, I got this idea. Hey, I got this, business or this strategy or something I want to do. And then poof, it happens. It doesn't work like that. This is why you must have some systems in place. See, let's talk about how Jesus' strategy was. His goal was to get millions to come to faith by following God's will and being the example for us, right? So now, as a business owner, your goal is to be an example by becoming a marketer for others to follow you and lead people to Christ also. As an entrepreneur, when you get deep in the word, that's who he used, to move people into those, into helping him to get people so that they can get saved, right? So when you look at Christ and follow God's will of an entrepreneurship of your life, you're doing the same thing, guys. This is what your calling is. If you're watching this, or if you showed up here and you didn't know you were supposed to be here, there's a reason why you're watching this. There's a message that you have to have, because nothing in life is by accident. Everything has a purpose. See, right now, if we look at the churches, their attendance is declining from not following strategies that God left behind in the Bible, and souls are not being saved. We just came out of a huge pandemic. This is 2021, depending on when you're watching this, because see, once I record this, it will last forever, and I can be able to use it 5-10 years from now. And these strategies that I'm sharing with you guys will never change. And see, so a lot of people are getting left behind because they're trying to be creative. When you're in business, or perhaps you haven't even started it, you want to position yourself that you can have strategies that you can follow, that the pioneers left behind, that the people that came before us left behind. If they had success, there was something they were doing to have success, and you want to do that same thing. Which means if you're not doing that, if you're not following these strategies, you're not saving lives and transforming lives, leading people to Christ. It's just simply because the system isn't being followed. And that means, here's the sad part about it, is that people are not getting rescued from problems and poverty. Don't you want to help somebody be rescued from problems and poverty? And then when y'all meet up in heaven, they're like, hey, Bob, it was because of you that I changed my life. Or hey, Karen, it was because of you that I changed my life. Or you can have employees, that you can hire and you can provide income to. And it was because of you and your example and how you ran your company that they changed your life. If you can have students and people that you help and you counsel, and they can say it was because of you, Bob, because of you, Karen, that they changed their life. They got, those problems wasn't as bad as they thought they were. They learned how to manage and deal with them by just watching your example. They were able to create an income for themselves and get out of poverty because you followed the strategies that were laid out so that you can help other people, and you follow God's will for your life. And one of those was to become an entrepreneur who think like a marketer. And guys, I share this with you because, to be honest, for years, I was pretty much in that same boat. For years as an entrepreneur, I tried to reinvent, recreate, overwork, underpay, doing things that were unnecessary and not having time. I knew the answer was Jesus, because that's how I grew up. My very first, I always say the very first introduction to Christ that I remember is when my mom was sick with cancer. I was about 8 years old, and I'll never forget that day. I was like sitting in the corner, and our room was my parents' room was filled with, the minister, the family, people from the church telling her to say her goodbyes because, she was going to die of cancer. And she was like, hey, I don't know who y'all talking to, but y'all must not know the God that I serve, because I'm not going to die. I'm going to live to see my kids get grown. My mother is 87 years old. That happened when I was 8 years old. So, I'm almost 60 myself right now. So, I mean, like, all of that time was lost because I didn't have someone to say, wake up, girl, this is the way it should be. Get in the word, start reading it, find it out for yourself. That's what you have to do when it comes to your life with God and also with your life in business. But some of y'all, it's okay. Like where you're at right now, it is okay. I just want you to know that. And you still may not know where to start, and you still may not know what to do. It is not your fault. It is not your fault until somebody say, hey, do this, and you don't do it, but you just gotta keep going, and it's okay. I also knew the answer to all those business secret success because I've been reading, following, seeing people win and succeed, these pioneers who had already done it, but I didn't always follow it. And then there will come a time when you literally draw a line in the sand and you're going to say, no matter what, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be fully coachable, reachable, teachable. Use me. And that's what you can say to, to the person who's mentoring you. Or if you don't have a mentor, you can always go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com and it backslash or / however you say that, mentorship, and get it a part of our program or shoot us a message. You always want to have someone to help guide you and mentor you. I wish I would have did it a long time ago, but I did, and that's okay. So we can keep wishing it'll never change what happened, but guess what you can do? You can, as of this day, you can draw that line in the sand and say, I'm moving forward in the right way. It was only much later, sometimes you just got to go through something. You ever had those kids, you're like, they just so hard-headed, they don't listen, or you just got to let people go through something. See, I had to go through something before I got to where I'm at, and it took me losing everything that I discovered. Wait a minute, I'm chasing success, and success was already right here. I'm chasing answers, and answers were already right here. It wasn't hidden. It was in plain sight. The words were in the gospel. I just decided to re-pick the book up now because I had read the Bible back and forth, right? I don't know how many times, but how many times did we pick up a book and reread it back and forth, and we have zero understanding of it? See, it's a daily discipline. It's something that you must do every single day. There shouldn't be a day for the rest of your life that you don't read God's word. And when you seek him that earnestly and you put him first before anything else, I promise you, not only will your business begin to change, but your life will change also. Just be patient with it as you go through that. And Jesus didn't just tell the disciples. This is key right here, okay? So as you're building your business, if you're mentoring, coaching, training people, helping people, he just didn't tell people what to do. He just didn't tell the disciples, hey, you go over there and do this, and leave them like floundering, like what do we do? What do we do? Like, I don't know what to do. He didn't do that. He invested quite a lot of time into them. He showed them what to do. He led by example. So that could be something else to why your business isn't working the way you need it to work. Do you have role plays? Do you have systems? I have one of my sales, a couple of my salespeople are remote. I have one that like meets me here, during the week, and we role play. We talk about these things. We talk about mindset. These are the things that need to be done so that they can see when we were coming up in business, you got to be on the phone. You got to tell them what to say, show them what to do, lift them up when they're down. You have to really, really be there to pour into people if you want to build something great, just like God poured into us. It is so, so important. Just like leaders have spent time with other people to help them to get to success, and they talk about that. I just left a 2-day convention for the last 2 days that I was at for, I don't know, 7 to 9 or something like that for 2 days. Why do I keep going these things? Because every time you go, you learn something new. And when you learn something new, it's new to you, but it's been around all the time. But you also learn how to think differently, how to go take action quicker. It just makes life so much easier for you. So when we have our boot camps, I want to make sure that you definitely join us. So always be on the lookout for that. In Matthew 9:37-8, this is an example, of Jesus talking to his disciples. It says, then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. See, the harvest is plentiful. There's plenty in overflow of business ideas, of people's lives to be changed, of money to be made. That harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. The people who will really roll up their sleeves, be disciplined, follow the leader, do what they're supposed to do, regardless of how they're feeling. Those are the people who have success, but it's few. It's that 80-20 rule. And then when you break down that 80-20 rule, out of 100 people, only 20 who are going to do something. And then of that 20, we 80-20 that again. Only about, only about 16 of them will do something. And then out of that 16, you 80-20 that again, right? You see how I keep 80-20 in that? And you probably end up with about 2 people out of 100 who actually do something. And then 1,000 out of, 1 out of 1,000 will actually create that success, because the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And that's why he said, ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. You got to constantly pray, ask, and talk to God about your business, about your life, about what you want to happen in order for it to go the way you want it to go. And the challenge is that so many people may have that small, slight conversation, and then they go do it their way anyway, right? Didn't you ever have someone like you're training them and you're teaching them and you're showing them, and they don't do what you say, and you're just like, you get to a point, you're like, okay, hey, whenever you're ready, I'll be over here. You can come see me. See, because we get so used to, we want to event and we want to experiment. You want to event and you want to experiment less is what you want to do now. Is there a time for you to do that? Yes. After you've created freedom, after you have success, after you have no more worries in well, we're always going to have some, but I'm just saying, when you're financially free, you're set, and you know that, until that happens, you want to follow people who came before you and implement more, become a doer. It's just like God says of the word, become a doer of the word. So let's talk about reasons why people don't. The people who know more than you, right? We all have had those people. They think they've already seen it. They're like, oh, well, I don't want to do this business because it's already been around. Or I already seen that person join this business or do this and it didn't work for them. Or they get bored with it. Like, they get bored. And that means they really wasn't interested in the first place. Because I promise you this, for 25 years, with the exception of 1 year, y'all, when I lost everything, my home, my car, my everything, I went to work for the bank as a financial advisor for like a little over a year and a couple months. And I'm like, it just never sat right with me to be an employee. And I'm not saying if you are one, something is wrong, but I'm just saying that's not, I feel that was not, is not, and was not God's will for my life. So I had to get out. I had to live and become who I am. And when you're doing that, you're never bored at it. When you're serving God and you're learning every single day and you're getting better, it's never boring. If it's boring, there's something that you're not doing right. So you got to fix it and get it right. Invention is a place to hide. You can create, like, trust me, I've been there. I've created these brochures. I made this up. I did this. I tried to, do all, whatever. It's busy work. You busy working and you're not busy making money. And so that's why you just adapt. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. Or here's another one. I've been there. Ego and self-importance get in the way. I'm the man. I'm the woman. I got this. Nobody needs to tell me what to do. I got this. I can make it happen. Especially if you're winning, man. Listen. Over these years of being in the business owner, being in the financial field and competing, we would win, we would dominate, we would be number one. And then once you get there, there were times where my ego was like, I got this. I don't need to listen to anyone else. All that does is set you back. So if you've been there, or you're there right now, get out as quick as you can. I came here to tell you, instead of being like Moses and wondering for 40 years or being like me taking 25 years to, well, a little less than that, to finally figure it out, then get out quicker. Like, learn from our mistakes. This is why adults tell the younger generation things that they should, that wisdom comes from being there, doing it, and going through challenges. If you listen, if you're coachable, reachable, and teachable, you can save yourself a lot of time, a lot of heartaches, a lot of hurts, a lot of hangups, and a lot of bad habits. You can change your life. Or you might be trying to prove that you're worthy. Here's how you know if you're trying to prove that you're worthy. Every time somebody says, I just bought a house. Oh yeah, well, I'm about to buy a house. Or I just got a car. You know what? I was looking for a car. Or I was going on this vacation. Oh yeah, I'm going to go on that vacation. They always want to one up you. Or, you hear that. Or if you hear yourself saying it, right? You're always trying to one up somebody. Hey, I've been there. Why do we do that? It's because we're trying to get people to say, hey, look at me. I'm going somewhere. I'm doing something. Believe in me. What you're really trying to do is you're trying to get validation for where you're going. You're feeling insecure, so you want someone else to validate you. You don't need anyone else to validate you. God got you. He knows your journey. He knows where you're at. So you'll learn to turn that conversation into having a conversation with him instead of talking about or needing to prove something to someone else. Or you may not just know any better. It may be your first time around, or you don't know how to reach out to people, or you're a little shy or introverted and you got to work it up. You building muscles, and it's just like working out. Business is just like working out. Maybe you're building those muscles that you need so that you can eventually flex. It's like this. You have, if you have a punching bag and it goes down, all of a sudden, because you've been there, you're just going to hit it like this and it's not going anywhere. That's how your faith has to be. That's how your desire has to be. That's how you have to feel with business. Like, I'm not going anywhere. It's for the love of the game. You got to be in it like you're in sports. It's like the love of the game. I'm not saying you ain't going to get frustrated. I'm not saying you're not going to get angry, but I bet you this, you're going to always want to get up and get back into the game quicker than later. And it's easily seduced. Like, here's another one. People are easily seduced to the new. Like, the new now is cryptocurrency. Like, that's the new, or the Bitcoins and all of that. And I'm not poo-pooing, and I don't, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I don't know. But it's the new craze. I look on my Facebook friend requesting, and that's all you get. All you get is, request for that. So whatever is new, that like, this other thing I was doing is not working. So you're chasing the new. Remember, God said it. I didn't. There is nothing new under the sun, right? There is nothing new under the sun. So always, whatever you're doing, match it up against the principles in the Bible, and then utilize the strategies that were laid out for you by the disciples and the people in the Bible, so that you can get the lifestyle that you want to do. And you want to do this instead. You want to create in your business, you want to create evergreen assets for your business. What is an evergreen asset? That's something that will last throughout the times. I think of it like You want to think of records like Michael Jackson, The Man in the Mirror. You know, he's not even here anymore, but his children's children will get paid off of that because they created something once and it will last forever. Think of the TV shows that you watch. That's creating something one that like the I Love Lucy, the Three Stooges, you know, whatever shows that you grew up watching, you're still watching. Every time somebody plays that show or listen to that record, guess what? That person who was responsible for creating that, or that actor or actress or singer, they're getting paid. That's an asset. You want to grow your business with that same mindset. How can I build it once and get paid on it forever? Here are some of the things that you must have in order to make that happen. You must have a reliable, predictable, consistent system. Let me say that again. It has to be reliable. It has to be predictable. It has to be consistent. That's that system. See, and that's something that you didn't come up with 9 times out of 10 in the beginning. Now, after you've proven yourself, you hit, you know, millions, maybe you will have the time, the money, and the resources to do that. But in the beginning, guys, it must be reliable, predictable, and a consistent system that's affordable and efficient, because money can run out and you get so caught up with chasing it instead of chasing the source of it, which is God, that you lose out. And when you have something that's affordable and efficient, it provides you with an abundant quantity of quality prospects, customers, and clients. See, when you turn to God, you realize that your source is not that mentor, it's not that resource, it's not that stuff that I'm talking about. It's him who put the people in your life, the disciples, and he gave them the wisdom and knowledge to use. So don't sell out to the people, sell out to God, and let him utilize the people to help you create the business and life that you want to create. So let's talk about a system. What is a system? By definition, a system is something that's reliable, predictable, and consistent. We just talked about that. This means that you're not, like in business world, that means that you're not running ads or sending out mail wondering what results like you're going to see. Like if I left this event and I came back or another event and I'm like, yeah, well, they're doing this is working, and they're doing this, that is working. Before you even start something, you got to start with your goal. Okay, what was my goal? Does this particular strategy fit into my goal? And once I know if the strategy fits into it, what tactics am I going to use in order to make that strategy work so that my goals are met? This means that you're not doing old-fashioned prospecting. You're not out there doing grunt work, messaging 1,000 people, getting erratic results, and you're burned out. If you're burned out, it's because you're not doing it right. That's what you have to look at. If you're burned out, you're tired, you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, it just means you're not doing it right. You got to find a new way of making things happen. I was talking to Ron today, and we were talking just about this subject right here, and he loves to be out on the boat. And so I said to him, okay, so if you're going to be out on the boat, what's one of the things that you must make sure happens? And he said, to make sure the engine is right. I said, okay, so do you just go, look at the engine and like, oh, okay, I guess the engine is right, so I can go out there and row? He's like, no. Well, that's the same thing with your life. You just can't say, hey, I want to start a business, or I'm doing this business and I'm just doing it haphazardly. No. If you take that boat into a shop, or you take your car into a shop, there's a checklist and a system that the right shops will have, and they'll go through the checkpoint. I remember when I was shopping, for someone to come in and clean, and I love the way that this company did it. They literally had a checklist and they went through it, so they never missed out on anything. The reason why you skipping steps and you're getting frustrated, because do you have systems? Do you have checkpoints? Do you know, can you measure it? Are you able to measure exactly what your strategy is and how it can get results. Because once you do that, once you get that, once you understand that, no matter what the business is, no matter what type of business you're in, you are able to do this. This means that with a system in place, you can go to bed every night knowing with a small range of variance, maybe you got to add a little bit of more oil, maybe you got to fill up the tire. Those are, but the system is the car needs oil and it has to have tires in order for you to look to move and to run. So those are like the little variants that you make. You can know how much business is coming, or if you're putting gas in the car, you got the car there, is looking good, smelling good, but if you don't have gas in there, it's not going to move. So you know that if everything is checked, everything is right, the car is going to move. That's the same thing with your business. It can become that predictable that if you're doing everything the right way with the right system, that you can like look in and say, okay, today I'm going to do this and tomorrow I'm going to have some money coming into my business. Would you like to have that happen? If so, drop it in the comments and say, yes, show me the money, bring me the money. I need some systems. Your system also have to be affordable, guys. You don't have you don't have to spend a bundle to make a bundle. That's a farce. The more I spend, the more I make. Not quite that way. That's just a saying that people say. You have to what you want to know. See, most people say, well, what's your budget for marketing? That, like, your budget for marketing should be unlimited. You're like, what? Unlimited? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to count the cost. Here's what I mean. The right question, and the question that you should be asking is, how much am I willing to spend to acquire a customer? That's what you want to know. That's what successful business owners ask. How much am I willing to spend? That's your metric right there to acquire a customer. So you don't make a marketing budget. You make an acquired customer budget, because if you can put $1 in and get $5 out, how many dollars do you want to put in? As many as possible, right? So that's how you have to look at to know that I'm willing to spend $1 to get $5, or I'm willing to spend $2 to get $5, or I'm willing to spend $5 to get $20. That's what you have to know. You want to, and that's your cost to acquire a customer. So do you even know what it will cost you to acquire a customer? Drop that in the comments and let us know. And as with the system, y'all, if you're leaving messages, I actually cannot see them right now, but at the end, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at those questions and we'll be able to answer those for you. You also want to use marketing as leverage. Marketing will leverage your business. It will speed it up so much quicker than anything else. And that's how your marketing, like as a business owner, like I fell in love with marketing once I figured out what it was and what you're supposed to do it and the purpose of it. This is how you bring leverage to your business. This is how you scale your business. And then you also want to test inexpensively. You don't have to think of like, if you remember being in the mall where you would have those people with the clipboards and they were walking around, they were testing people, they would take you to these back rooms, ask you questions and all of that. That's inexpensive, right? It doesn't take a lot to go back and ask you to try something, to do something. So find ways that you can inexpensively test your business out. Like when you're advertising, one of the things that we teach you when you're in our class, we teach you how to like literally find your best audience for just $2. I call it the $2 holler, right? For $2 in audience, you learn how to get leads and test them and see what's working. And then after you test that, we then take that and then we show you how to scale that. Or if you're starting a course, instead of you putting all of that work into making the course, getting it all, spiffed up and all the right contents, making the PowerPoints and looking pretty, or thinking of the ideas, and you spend 6 months, years, 2 years putting it all together, only to find out no one will buy it. So one of the things in our 30-day class once you're getting started, we show you how to test your idea to make sure that it's profitable. Because if you're not making money in 3 weeks with it, you're not going to make money in 6 weeks with it. So you have to test it out. And there's certain systems that you use and certain tactics for those systems in order to help you to create that success. So that's very, very important. And it doesn't cost a lot of money to do that. You also want to do it efficiently, low overhead, few complications, just like Jesus said in that parable. If you don't count the cost and you run out of money, they're going to laugh at you. So all of this is biblical principles in building your business as well, so you can have that low overhead, fewer complications, low to no hassle. See, too many people wind up being owned by their businesses rather being a business owner. They're like, if they leave, then that business is gone. I was listening to Rick Warren this morning, one of the habits that I have every single day, and he was talking about his book, The Purpose Driven Church, and he was sharing how he trains other ministers, and he teach people. And from day one, when he started his church, Saddleback Church, and he has his business also, that he made that where it wasn't system driven. It wasn't, it was system driven. It wasn't personality driven. It wasn't driven by anything but what the word says. He gave like 5 different systems that God left behind for pastors to build the church. So no matter what it is, you can take those and you can utilize those to build your business. And that's the key right there, guys. You also want to have quantity and quality, meaning that you need the right balance. The number one, like if you only got one of something going, that is the worst number that you can ever have. You never want to just have one of something. You want to have balance. You want to have different things working at different times, and at the same time, you want an overflow of response. You want, like, every single day when I'm not there or not, I get leads. I have things set up on automation. I was gone for the last couple of days, so I set stuff up where things get done, ads are happening, emails are happening, messages are happening, people are being called. And how is that? So either you are automating it or you have hired and trained someone to do it. It just simply means that you, the business owner, are not working in your business, you're working on your business. And the only way you can work on your business is by having systems that are measurable, that will take you to your goals. And underneath those systems, you have tactics to help you to get there. And you also want to have built touch points in your system so that you automatically, I say you can shake that dust off, and before you ever take your team through it. It's just like a car. A car has a system. In their system, they have lights that come on to tell you the tire is low, or the battery is low, or the oil is low. So those are little touch points. So what touch points do you have in your business to let you know that's an indicator that there's a problem or there's something that's working well and working great? You want to definitely have those in your business as well. And guys, listen, it can be hard. You can be like that guy there. You can be totally frustrated. I've been there, and it's not necessary. I wish I would have listened long enough or had someone around me strong enough to say, listen, girl, you are hurting yourself. If you don't stop and you don't listen, you're going to hurt yourself. See, you got to love people enough along the journey, especially if you're training, coaching, helping them and inspiring them, to tell them the truth, to be willing to say, suck it up, buttercup. Here's what you need to do. Here's how you need to make it happen. Stop making life hard for yourself. You're not listening. You're not paying attention. But the challenge is most people are either afraid to, they're not bold or courageous enough, or they don't love you enough. It's all about them to tell you, you messing up, shorty. Let's get it together. You will tell that to your children, right? You will say it to them regardless if they want to hear it or not. That's how you got to treat the people around you. And because you've shown so much love, to them. You've helped them. You've been like Jesus out there working with them side by side, showing them what to do, helping them to get success. Having that conversation becomes easy. So when they're growing their business, it becomes easy. It also becomes easy for you because everybody knows that when something comes down, it's not out of being like mean or nasty or anything like that. It's out of love. It's out of care, because you will rescue them, because you care about them. You want them to hit their goals and dreams and be able to have the life that you want them to that they want to have, that God desires them to have. You're willing to do the work. It's just like God. He does the same thing with us, guys. He loves us so much, that he gave up his son for us so that we can have it. So what are you willing to give up and do and sacrifice so that you can help someone else and build your business? You can't constantly be reinventing the wheel in order to make that happen, because it gets too confusing. Maybe, like, imagine if this was your business, which is probably a lot of people's office right now. They got post-it notes up with post-it notes. They don't know which one, goes where, which one they should do next. That's not a system. That's a, disorganized mess right there. Or you can set it and forget it and have something working for you, and everything is just going out like a fine, like you can turn the faucet on, leads come in, money comes in, everything works the way it's supposed to work because you're following the system. Which one do you want? Do you want to reinvent and be the inventor, or do you want to set it, forget it, and make money so you can go serve other people and go help other people? I'm sure you're over here. So now I'm going to talk to you about some systems that you can use, that you should be using in your business, that have been proven over the lifetime. I highly suggest that you go pick up this book. I got this yesterday. I was actually out at a seminar with Dan Kennedy, got a chance to see him. He actually signed my book right there. So like, this is really, really great. I'm excited about that. So this is the one that we have here. I also have another one because, that one I bought, but this one I got for registering for, being one of the first ones to register for the event. So I'm excited about that, and to get that signed copy in there. So you got to have a good sales letter. Every business needs to have a good sales letter. Here's an example of a sales letter that brought in over 250,000. So what is it like? I've seen them and all of that, but like a couple years ago, I had no idea what a sales letter was, even though I had seen it. But there's certain letters and certain things, like a presentation that's written in a certain way. So I'm going to show you some of these here. This one right here with the dollar bill, Gary Halbert set up. This is where this system came from, been using over and over again. Or you can have a direct mail campaign with a 3 to 5 step sequence in it, with your sales letter in it, with a catalog. Here's an example just to show you guys some sales letters. Like, here's a sales letter, a little glossy one that can be used. Here's another one right here that has some shredded money on the top of it with all stuff like that in it. So like, all of this, nothing is new about any of this stuff. One of them just fell out. That's right here. Or you can have like one that's a 1-page sales letter. So there are all different types and all different kinds that you should have, and you want to do that, and then you want to send that out in direct mail. Direct mail just simply means something that you're going to get in the mail. So maybe like you see that postcard here, like here's an actual example of one that I picked up yesterday that can be sent out in the mail, and it also has something attached to it. So direct mail just means it's directly in the mail coming to you. With that, you have a 3 to 5 step sequence, and this particular campaign that you see here has brought in over $10 million. So you can copy that. You don't like copy it word from word, but you use the same framework. You look at, okay, they sent out a postcard. They had an envelope. They put it into the sales letter. Here was the size, a number 9 envelope that they put in there. And then they also had a letter. So if you see there, you see the different things that they did. All of this is a system. You can use the system. 1, 2, 3. What can you do in this particular system? Here's another one, direct mail campaign that did $10 million. He says, remember me? You know, this is the follow-up system on that. I'm the guy who sent you the real $100 bill 2 weeks ago. So this is part of the system. All of that is like a 4 or 5 step. You saw the 1 step up front. Now here's the other 4 steps in the system, is giving you the letters. And then you got another one that goes out. So maybe that one went out on Monday. Then you got one that goes out on Wednesday. Then you got one that goes on Friday. And then you got another one that goes out on the following Monday. You have systems in place. This system did $10 million. Is it worth it? And then a lot of people who are online, they're like, oh, you know, the new things that are online. But think about it. Have you ever gotten something in your mailbox from Google? If you advertise, you have. If you advertise on Facebook, you've gotten something in your mailbox from Facebook. Why are they sending mail to you if mail doesn't work and it's just offline? There's a reason behind that. Stop watching what people do and watch how they do something and what they're doing, and then you want to duplicate and implement that. You also want to test it, guys. And when you're testing things, you only want to test one tactic at a time. So in this particular example right here, the tactic was to attach a dollar bill. So in this example, they attached a real dollar bill. Over here, they attach a foreign dollar bill and then a copy of a dollar bill. So of these 3, they're just testing. Okay, what's working? What's working? So you may be sending that out to different people. And then you also, so maybe 1 week you can test this for like a 2 to 3 week period. And the next time you might test your PSs, and you're changing the PSs. You know, what PS am I going to appeal to here? What's working? We got a whole list of PSs that you can just, you know, copy, swipe, copy, and deploy, right? Utilizing your own business. I think I might have knocked my camera out. Let me see here. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let's see. Give me a second. I did knock my camera out. Okay, let me make sure I'm back online there. Let's see. Hold on. I think I knocked my camera out. I should be back up and online, but I'm just going to make sure before I keep going. The joys of technology. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm still live. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back over to my PowerPoint. I hit the button over there and it knocked me out. Let's go. Okay. All right, so we're back here. All right. So I was saying test, you know, the dollar bills test. You might send out like this is a Band-Aid something. You could do the same thing in your emails. Test, but only one. If you're going to test a headline, just test headlines that week. If you're going to test your creatives, which means your pictures and all of that stuff, just test those. When you're running ads, like literally Facebook allows you to do 5 at one time, 5 headlines, 5 pictures, and you can also put 5 different bodies. So you can run all of that at one time. Let all of their IT or whatever you call that stuff go out and find the right ones with their algorithms. See, you're testing, so you know what's working, and it's important to make sure that you are testing. Sure, before I keep going. Okay. All right. I just had to make sure we're there. So let's talk about the key takeaways of the evolution of the $10 million direct mail campaign. This one right here was a consistent staple asset for almost 30 years. Nothing is new. Okay, the scripture that we said, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new biblically, and there's nothing new marketing. The philosophies have already been set. You just need to implement them. You need to become a doer of the word, not just a reader, not just a listener, not just a hearer. You need to become a doer of the word, a doer of success. You can learn. There's so many people that have degrees, that go to trainings. They're professional students. You don't want to become a professional student. You want to become a professional business owner, entrepreneur who is a professional marketer. That's what you want to become. Borrow and use proven and reliable pieces that have already been put out there, like the ones that I just shared with you. They already have the historical data. You don't copy them, you just modify them to your business. If it worked without fail, it will, as always, just like the words say, work without fail. Those examples that I showed you in 2012, those that responded in 1992 were responsible for 60 million and 60,000 in new sales in that year alone. And then when you multiply that out, that could have been worth 1.2 million. And in 2012, just one customer who responded to that ad and to that sales letter in 1992 spent over $1 million with the company. So that's something that, look how long this is. We're talking 30 years. It's probably even longer than that this campaign has been going. So you want to make sure that you follow those things. It's been used by so many people, lots of people, to create assets and success for their business. Start paying attention to this. When you're getting emails, when you're getting mail, see what it is. And you're like, oh, yeah, I've seen that. They use that. You'll start to see, you'll recognize the pattern of things that are out there and that are working, and you will begin to utilize them. So our next strategy we're going to talk about, guys, is a webinar strategy in order to create an asset to make more money so that you can have more time. See, right now I'm on here live, but I have a game plan. I have a strategy, and that is that I'm going to do 52 of these, one a week, or I can come in, 1 week and like shoot 5 of them and put them up there, and then you just repeat them. You just repeat them over and over again. It's just like a commercial. You just repeat them in the cycles. You take the ones that created success or you got a lot of interest in, and you're testing these to see what works and in the what you put out. But as it goes on YouTube, you should download it, and you should keep a file on it, and then you can keep playing this. Like the post that I put out, most of those I go back 2-3 years, and I'm just recycling them. You just keep recycling them and using them over and over again. They're reaching different people, and even if they're reaching the same people, it's just like reading the Bible. You got to be in that moment at that right season at that right time for it to give the impact that you need it to give. So when you're looking at turning a webinar into an asset, everything is about creating an asset with a system. Do you want a system that will drive traffic to and express interest? You also, and like that interest, like where do you want them to go? Is it a funnel that you want them to go to? Do you want them to make a phone call to you? You want to capture the interest. What system are you using to capture interest? How is that working for you? What are you going to do to remind the people who were interested in what you have about your event that you have? That's part of your system. Maybe you got emails in there. That's part of, how they're being reminded. Maybe you're giving them phone call. Maybe you're sending something unique in the mail, like a shock and awe box or a package or something that they need to utilize when they get to the event. You also want to provide the event with a call to action. That's what a CTA is, so that they know exactly what to do. You got to tell people exactly what to do. It has to be paint by numbers. If you put it in front of, a 5th grader, a 6th grader, and they don't get it, no one will get it. That's who you want to make sure get it. And you want to follow up with those who don't take the call to action. Not everybody does what you tell them to do or what they should do, right? So you should have a system in place, a strategy in place. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to send another set of emails. I have a 3-mail email sequence. I have a 5-mail email system, or I have a letter system that I'm going to send out. What is it that you're going to do? You want to have all of that. This particular webinar funnel system in 18 months created $1 million. Is it worth having a system to know exactly this is how your planning should look? You know exactly every place. It's just like, you know, if you put in Google Maps, it's going to ask you, and you want to go somewhere, it's going to say, where are you? And then it's going to give you directions. You can literally pull it up and you can get the detailed step-by-step direction as to how to get to where you're going to go, what roadblocks may be in the way, what challenges you may face, which to turn right, to turn left, whatever the case is a system. You need those for your business if you want to create more customers and you want to have more money and you want to, you know, make more and you want to work less so that you can spend more time with your family, spend more time in the Word, be able to help more people. And I'm telling, like with this, you can add, if you can add in like SMS, you can add in text. Like now I'm talking tactics, right? Excuse me, and get about a 20% show up weight. You can also add retargeting into your post webinar, where you're putting something like a GPS tracking system on there so that once a person touches your stuff, you can follow them around the internet and actually show them, you know, you can talk more to them about your story. I'm laughing because I'm thinking of the other day. Now I got a tooth pull and I have to get and I'm getting some posts, some, you know, some teeth put back in where I got the one pulled. And so this I'm on YouTube, right? And I'm listening to some, you know, praise music, and you know how you get the ads. It was like hilarious. I'm laughing, and it says, if you're watching and listening to this ad, you must have a tooth missing. And I like was literally just like hysterically laughing because it was so funny and so true. How do they know? Because I'm searching. I was searching for a dentist to go to after the pandemic so that I can get rid of that bad one and get a new one in, and looking for a cosmetic dentistry. So this is how smart the systems are. They pay attention to what you're doing, and then they keep putting the right things in front of you, because the business owner, you will go in and say, hey, I'm looking for people who are searching and typing in keywords of replace a tooth, pull a tooth, or whatever it is, or dentist appointment. So it works. Let me tell you, it works. You can also transcribe the webinar and create a written report to follow up. So once you do this webinar, you can send it to RevUp and 5 or different places, and you can transcribe it, and they'll go in and they'll transcribe. You give them the link to the video, and they will, it's all automated too. It's so cool. They'll transcribe, and then you can take that. You can either have someone on your team do it, or you can go to Fiverr and say, hey, turn this into a sales letter for me. Hey, turn this into, a lead magnet for me. You can just, you do it once, like these that I do here. When we send them out to you, we get them transcribed, because some people like to read. Some people like to listen. You got to be able, some people like to see. So we got the video, we got the written word so that they can see it. And we also have the audio that you can put it on a MP3 where they can listen to it. So whatever it is, you only did it once. You did this webinar one time, and then you transcribed it, and then you had somebody fix it, and then you put it on audio. And now all of that, without you going and actually recording an audio version, actually writing everything hand out, all of that can be done by automation, which can save you a ton of time. So let's see, what else can you do? Is this bringing value to you guys today? Let me know in the comments if you're getting value, whether you're catching this during the live or the replay. And if you want to make more money and have freedom, I know this is definitely bringing you some value. So I just talked about these 5 right here, and that last one of turning that transcript and audio CD into a 3-step mailing campaign like the one that I showed you. It can become that letter. So if you don't like typing or writing, you can take and you can put the sales letter in front of you, and you can just read it, just like it's all scrolling down. And they have even systems for that, where you can just look at it and read the teleprompters and all of that. You can also extend the sales sequence. You can say, hey, we were going to end today, but we're giving you 3 more days, to make something happen. You can extend the payments and the installments. Instead of it being, 9 months, you can make it 12 months, or you can make it 18 months, so you have those options. Your goal is to get money. You can change the bonuses. So like, instead of giving out bonuses, like we have our book coming out, and one of the things that we're going to be giving away with that, we're going to be giving away this roll-up blanket and a coffee mug, but I also a water bottle, but I also have the coffee mugs that I can give away with it. I can add that, or the stress balls, or t-shirts, or something like that, that I can change the bonus, or I can give them a free, strategy session with me to talk about stuff like this about their business. So you can always change the bonus. Then you can also change the offer. Like, you can bring it down. Russell Brunson, I know, is running one now. Watch, join, come to our webinar, come to our training, and pay afterwards if you like it. So like, there's no resistance to that. You literally get to get in free. You put your credit card in, and then they give you a certain amount of time after that to say, hey, I don't want that. Or they'll just go ahead and charge you, and you don't have to go back and do that. So you can use that. You can offer a different solution of yours. Maybe you have something else. We have our mentorship program, which is a monthly membership program, but we also have our academy for people who want to get it done quicker. And then we're going to start our boot camps and our workshops and our seminars, or maybe they're watching this workshop. So there's different solutions, or they can read our blog, or they can read our emails. There's different solutions for people to get the information. How many solutions do you have? You should have multiple ones working at the same time. You can also market different affiliates and have strategic partners. I have somebody that's going to be working with me doing the live broadcast as a partnership in there. If someone joins our business and they get, the click funnels, or the Canva, or the email sequence, those are also different money makers, because they're utilizing the same, systems that we use. Then the companies that we're partnering with, including like the one that I'm using here to go live with you guys, they'll give us a percent of the profit. You want to do all of that as well. So that means that you got one like major business, but off of that one major business, you might have 5 to 10 different ways that you're getting paid for that doesn't require you to be there. Those are the things that you want to look for. You can duplicate yourself, guys. You can be in 1,000 places at one time while you're on the beach having fun, while you're with your family, while you're serving God, while you're out there ministering, while you're out there doing things and freeing up your time. See, this is why you want to go make the money. This is why you want to join the classes. This is why you want to get in there, so that you can have more time freedom to do the things that God really put you here to do. And that was to follow him, seek him, to love your neighbor, and to serve and to help other people. But in order to make that happen, you got to read the word, you got to have systems, you got to have things in place in order to make that happen. Hope this is working for you and bringing you value. So let's talk again now about another strategy, another system that you can use, how you can turn a lost opportunity in manna. Like I say, let's make it rain. Like, you remember manna was coming down, it just never stopped. So you can recoup up to 20% of lost business by just using this system. It's called an appointment no sell. We call it follow-up, or it's called a follow-up system, right? Maybe this is the situation that you will utilize the system. You have met, or somebody on your team had met with a potential customer, client, patient, and they left without moving forward. Maybe they were on your website. Maybe you had an appointment with them. Like, I have for my Ice Fit Studio business, we literally have a page where you fill it out for each client, and it says first call, second call, third call, what to do if they don't answer. Like, you want to inspect what you expect. You want to, secret shop your salespeople. You want to send someone else over to see what they're saying. You want to listen in and make sure that everybody is doing the same thing. See, you're the CEO. You're the one to make sure that everything is working properly and working right. So you can't be in that business. You got to be watching from the outside, putting things in place, strategically moving things around, deciding which system will work best in your business, based on what you're doing. And that's part of it, so that you don't lose out. You can bring 20% more back. I mean, like, just think about that. What's 20% of $1 million? That's a lot of money. That's $200,000 that just maybe walked out the door, but because you have a system in place, you just brought that back into your business. It's money that you didn't have to spend advertisement on to go out and get. A lot of times business owners get so busy and trying to get a new customer that they forget that they can revitalize or go find the people who are already interested in their business. And then you can create these evergreen assets that we're talking about, like things like this, like the sales letters and things that like just constantly work year after year after year without issues. You can do that, and then it automatically, the moment that you do it, it's predictable. The examples I just showed you were from Dan Kennedy. The book that I just showed you, that was one of the trainings that we went to, where we were live there with him. Or you can buy the books and all of that stuff, or go to some of the trainings so that you can learn this. Like, here's an example of a follow-up to an appointment with a no-sell. This is his system. It's a 3-step system that anytime that you don't have an appointment, you should have a binder, and all you do is you pull that out and say, okay, here's what it is. And you're training people. You're teaching them, just like Jesus did. He's right there with them until they have that system. And then how do you know they have it? Because it's working, and then they teach someone else. That's where you have your manager at, so that everything is working. See, people came before you, right? Pioneers often come home full of arrows. People who are starting something out that has never been done before, they take all the brunt of it. Just think about if you're a parent and you had your mother and you had a child for the first time. The very first time you had that child, you were probably a little nervous, and then the second time you're like, oh, I got this, because you know what to expect, right? But you took some hits, you did some things wrong, you didn't get it right with the first child. We always laugh and say that first child, when the pacifier drops, you pick it up, you boil it. That second child, you just pick it up and you wipe it off and be like, you'll be all right, right? So that's that pioneer who put these systems together that already took the arrows. You don't have to go out and do it. Our job is to study, use, and deploy, just like with the Bible. We are to read it, we are to use it, and we're to become doers of it. When we study, use, and deploy the lifetime work of great marketers and entrepreneurs, you're going to create success faster. Guys, I know this is a lot that I'm sharing with you tonight, but if you want to become a member of one of our mentorship programs, we teach you all of this. If you want to be in our academies, we will teach and share all of this with you, so you'll know exactly what to do. Each month, you're going to get marketing letters and examples, swipe files, and things to help you to build your business, especially if you're in our gold membership. You're going to also get sales letters. You're going to get templates. It's stuff that you can quickly and easily follow. I wish I would have known this a long time ago. So if you want to know more about that, go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com. Go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com, or you can call us at 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ to learn more. And we'll be able to, just talk to you, have a conversation, see where you're at, see where you want to go, and help direct you to what you need. See, this is also a way, like this system that I'm using here is I'm going live. I have a show, and part of that is I have a way that instead of just like saying, hey, buy my stuff, I'm educating you. I'm bringing you value. I'm showing you the stuff that we know, we use, and we do. So you're like, wow, they taught me all of that. Like, I can imagine what they're going to show me in those classes. So these are some of the things that we will teach you how to do. Now, Jesus also left a system for us to follow. This is how you can take what he did and use it in, utilize it as biblical principles in your business. So instead of taking them arrows that we just show you, he got some nails. Like he hung on the cross for us. People have paid the price for us, right? They have paid the price, and we got to show our gratitude, our thanks by becoming the examples, becoming successful, doing the things that we need to do in order to say, if we can hear those words, well done, my good and faithful servant. So don't stop reinventing stuff. Stop reinventing things. Stop trying to figure it all out. Just follow the word for your faith, and follow the system for your finances so that you can get those in place. And you want to know what they are. I'm going backwards here just to show you some examples of those follow-up appointment, no sell follow-up. Here's some letters right here that you can see. Like I'm writing up and following up. It tells them there, but it gives them reasons. So the reasons on here, you always want to put those on there. These are just your objections. So all this is your putting the things that people say, oh, well, that sounds too good to be true. Oh, well, we're not ready to make any major purchase. Oh, we rather spend money, this amount right now. We rather not spend this amount of money. So, that means that, oh, sounds too good to be true. I'm not ready to take action yet, or I'm not ready to make a major purchase. I don't have the money. Fail, found. These are different things. Like I was talking to Ron today. He had a client who said this, and I'm like, okay, look at the system. What are you supposed to say next? Here's how you say it. Let's role play. If they say this, you say that. This is why every day you want to role play. And if you have our planner on there, it literally shows you what are you going to role play today, because this is live example. This is life. These are the things that instead of you literally saying it or you paying someone to say it, it'll be right if you have the right stuff. This is why sales letters are important, because they're right there to be able to give people the exact things that they need to say. So from the opening of it to the reasonings behind it, to you see the underlines down there of the important things that you need to answer for them. You want to have all of that in place, to the guarantees, to the reminders. All of that is set up and must be in every sales letter that you have, because that's part of the system that you have. And if there's any questions and they're still like confused, here's what you do next. Here's where you call. Here's the things that are happening. And then you want to insert your testimonies, because it's not about what you say, it's about what somebody else can say about you. You leave nothing to chance. You leave nothing to chance. God didn't leave anything to chance. He, had Moses write everything on the scroll, and then he came and he put it all in the Bible. Why? Because he know if I tell you once, you ain't going to remember all this stuff. So I need to just give you reminders, something you can go back to. So that's the same thing if you're looking at this particular one right here. This one tells a story. Hi, my name is Howard K. Hero. My dad was a mill worker, my mother a nurse, and they both worked hard and scrimped and saved to take care of my brothers and I, to put us through college and keep a nice home. I knew that paychecks aren't elastic. They don't keep stretching like big rubber bands. That was the kind of savings our members rave about in day. So what did he do? He told his personal story. Personal stories are part of a system. Telling where you're from is part of a system. Frankly, I'm a bit puzzled. Then you go into, frankly, I'm just curious. You could just put that in there. Whatever it is, that's the next paragraph. You see how duplicatable this is? And if you're just thinking it over, feel fine. I want to think it over. We used to say with Tom Hawkins, some 20-something years I learned this, that's fine, John, that you want to think it over. Just to clarify my thinking, what phrases, this opportunities, you want to think it over. Is the company, is the money, is this, you just go through all of that instead of you physically saying all of that. You can have it written, you can have it in words, you can have it in audio, so that the people are listening to it. And then if you have it like on video, especially with what's happening with Facebook and Apple, you can go in and you can like retarget people who have like seen 95% of your video, and then you can call them up and say, hey, I see you're on my website. They're like, what? There's systems that do that. That's part of the tactic in order to get the appointment, the no sale, the people who showed up. You can also have final notices. This is a strategy, a tactic within your strategy of the appointment no sale. So you see that there are things that, the final notice, that's the difference between, that's the tactic of the strategy, right? You're getting this now. Here's the tactic of the strategy, to give them a deadline, set a date on there. What is the tactic of the strategy? To give them an alternative of choice. When the people have a choice, I talked to you guys about a gold membership, but we also have a bronze and a silver. They're talking about their other membership as well. So if you don't do this, then you can at least do this. Guys, by just doing that strategy there, you can recoup lost sales with appointments and make sure that you have that appointment no sale strategy in place with all of those different steps. That was 1, 2, 3 steps that you use in order to bring 20% back to your business. Is that worth it? Absolutely is worth it. So here's another strategy that we're going to talk about, the alternative means of response. Now, before I go into that and hit a drink of water, let me know what you're getting out of this. What strategies have you thought about? Like, oh man, I can use that. I hadn't thought about that. Here's your alternative means. Biggest mistake is only going after the sale, guys. You just don't want to go for the sale. Your business owners, your job is to earn, to get leads, to build up your leads, to get a name, a phone number, email address, something to mail to them. We know that not everyone is ready to respond immediately. You're crazy if you think so. They're not going to do it. Stock your pond full at night. They say go before you're ready to go fishing the next month. Doing this can double your membership, your programs, your enrollment, and your students. And what would that mean to your business? You want to make sure that you have systems in place and tactics to work those systems to make things happen. On your PSs, it could be there. You can use it in videos, it could be there. You just want to have those. The foundational mission marketing principles and the assets that you have, you got to say, what do I have? Are there systems for my business? Do I have follow-up? They use the follow-up. They use both online and offline systems. This is how you're building assets. This is how you're creating success. They contain irresistible offers. They contain elements to prove their case. They contain elements to overcome skepticism, and they use good sales copy. All of this stuff that I learned from being, part of magnetic marketing, Dan Kennedy, Russell Brunson, and so many others that I can name out there. We're just sharing what I've been shared, and we're making it our own. So do you have any questions? I'm going to hop back over to the other screen where I can see if there are any questions on here. If you have any questions, let me know, guys. I hope all of this made sense for you so that we can help you out there. Just wanted to double check there, and oops, I forgot. I got to get back over here. So put your questions in there. If you're not sure how to implement these systems in your business, let us show you how. Just simply text systems. So I know, see, that's part of, a tactic of mine. I tell you what to text so I know which broadcast brought you in. Text that to 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ. This is how I can measure that and see how that is working. We also have a gift that awaits you. You'll get one of our shock and awe, we call them our shock and awe boxes, with different gifts and trainings and stuff in there that we want to give to you. Or for more information, feel free to call us at 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ, or you can send an email to info@kathymcreynolds.com, or you can simply go to Bible Business Academy .com, and we can help you out there. So I hope that brought you guys value tonight. I appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you later. Have a great day, guys. This is Kathy McReynolds signing off. Don't forget that, get your show notes. And if you're catching this during the replay, you should have had the show notes by now. But we'll